Hello, my friend. Today we are taking a break from makeup and hair, and I'm showing up just like this. Wet hair, don't care, all of my flaws, okay? This is actually a training that I wanted to do for my team, and I'm gonna take a minute and just invite them on here with me. I invite you to do the same thing. But then I decided that I wanted to just go live on my business page and share it with everybody because I think this is a message that somebody needs to hear, okay? What do you do when you're faced with rejection or negative comments? How do you handle that? That's what we're gonna talk about today, okay? So if you're on with me live, come and say hello. Tell me where you're tuning in from. I'd love to see where everybody's from. And if you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay or give me a hashtag missed you. Hello, Kayla. Okay, my favorite emoji is the fire emoji. So if at any time you're feeling the fire, drop that fire emoji, okay? And let's talk about this. So something happened to me today that got my thoughts going down this whole subject, okay? And today somebody commented on something saying, why are you always on Facebook? Don't you have something better to do? First of all, pause. Do not go and find it and comment on it, okay? We are better than that. Okay, it really honestly doesn't bother me at all. But then I started thinking, what if somebody had commented this to one of my teammates, to one of the gals on my team? Or, how would they have handled this? Do they know what to do? Are they prepared for what to do when they get rejection or when they're faced with a negative comment? Do they know what to do? We've added a lot of new teammates this month and they might not know what to do. Okay, so I wanted to go live and I'm just gonna swipe over the comments because I have ADD, anybody else? Squirrel. So I'm gonna swipe it over and deliver the message to you because I feel like somebody out there needs to hear this. What do? You really have two options, right? When somebody leaves a negative comment. Have you ever gotten a negative comment, first of all, or is it just me? Okay, raise your hand if you've ever gotten a negative comment on Facebook from somebody, or you felt rejection on Facebook from somebody, okay? I wanna know. Or is it just me? Because when you're in my line of work, which I am a Black Steps presenter with Younique, I've been doing this business for 5 years now. And I remember when I started my business and I started putting myself out there, especially when I started going live with no makeup on and I showed up with all of my flaws, my biggest insecurities, my rosacea skin. Hello, I woke up with this today. It hurts like a mother. If you get acne or if you've ever had a zit, drop a volcano emoji so I know I'm not alone. Okay, and I started putting myself out there. And when I started putting myself out there, I was also 60 pounds heavier. And I did get a lot of, and I still do, negative comments, rejection. And when it first started happening to me, I was a people pleaser, recovering people pleaser right here. Anybody else? Who else is a recovering people pleaser, or maybe you are a people pleaser? So it really hurt me when people would say, you're ugly, when people would say, your husband's out of your league, when they would comment on my weight, when they would comment on anything, or I would get negative feedback, your eyebrows are uneven, whatever it is. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't get that before, you know what I mean? But when you start to put yourself out there and on the internet, it's not if it's gonna happen to you, it's when. What are you gonna do when it happens to you, when you get a negative comment or you encounter rejection? And if you're feeling the fire, I want you to drop a fire emoji and hit the share button and share this out, okay? So it used to affect me. And I remember I would cry. And I would curl up in a ball and I would cry. And I would cry to my husband. And I'd be so hurt by what some stranger on the internet said to me about my skin or about my weight or about my appearance or about the way I did my makeup or the way I did my hair or the way I dress or who cares, whatever. And I would get all bent out of shape and I would cry and I would let it affect me and I would think about it. And sometimes it would affect me for days. And when somebody gives you a negative comment, you have two options. You can either curl up in a ball and cry like I used to, okay? You can let it affect you. Some people even let them stop. They allow those comments to stop them. doing what they're doing, to stop them in their business. It stops them in their tracks. Do you know what I'm saying? You can let that person stop you. And when you do that, you give them power. Words only have power and meaning if you give them that power and meaning. Do you know what I'm saying? Or you can say, okay, hurt people, and you're entitled to your opinion. That hurt a little bit, yes, but bless and release. You will never stop me. Nothing you can say will ever stop me because I know my worth. My worth doesn't come from likes. My worth doesn't come from comments on the internet. My worth doesn't come from somebody else's opinion, right? I want to see in the comments below right now, I know my worth, all caps. I know my worth. Do you know your worth? Okay, and I'm grateful that I have gone through these experiences and I have had my fair share of cyberbullying and it's real. I am grateful for that because I believe that life happens for me, not to me. I believe I needed to go through those experiences so I could help my children go through those experiences because they're being raised in a very different time than I was raised. I remember when the internet was born, okay? I remember when the only phone we had was the cell phone that was attached to a cord in our kitchen, okay? I remember hearing, you got mail when you got on the dial-up internet. Anybody else? Okay, or I just totally dated myself, but I remember that. And my children, my babies are being raised in a day and age where there's the internet and everything is so accessible and fast and now, and there's cell phones and there's technology. And not only do they have to face bullying, but they have to face cyberbullying. And I'm grateful for those experiences so I can now tell my babies, I understand how you feel. Here's what you do when somebody gives you a negative comment on your Instagram or on your Facebook. Here's what you do when somebody says that you're not pretty enough or you're not good enough. You are enough and you have worth. What I'm teaching my children is that they have worth, that they were created by a loving Heavenly Father and He made them perfectly in His image, and that they have worth and that their worth doesn't come from likes. Their worth doesn't come from comments. Their worth doesn't come from somebody else's opinion. At the end of the day, the only opinion that matters is what God thinks of them and what they think of themselves. And the same thing is for you. The only opinion that matters at the end of the day is what Heavenly Father thinks of you and what you think of yourself. Do not give somebody else's words power. Do not give somebody else's words power. Okay, if somebody says something mean to you, say to yourself, that was mean, that hurt people, bless and release. I know my worth. I know my worth and you will never stop me. Okay? That's what you need to say. I have somebody on my team and I remember it was like a week went by and I hadn't seen her post about anything. And I reached out to her and she began to tell me about how somebody jumped on one of her live videos and said some hurtful, mean comments about her body. And she just shut down. She shut down. She stopped posting. She stopped working her business. She's such a light and she stopped sharing her light. She dimmed her light and it really affected her and she let those words fester. And she had lost almost 100 pounds. She looks phenomenal. She worked so hard to lose this weight, but then some stranger jumped on her live and commented about loose skin, said something mean about her body, and it affected her. And I told her the same thing that I'm telling you today, okay? Bullying is cowardly, number one. Online bullying is even more cowardly because the person who's doing the bullying is hiding behind their screen. That person hurt people, right? I feel sorry for people who jump on other people's lives or who say negative comments. Hurt people. I feel sorry for them. And their words will not have power over me, and that's what you need to tell yourself as well, okay? It only has power and meaning if you give it power and meaning, okay? Know your worth, okay? Know your worth. Megan, you said, that's me. I stopped my business because of it. but it wasn't a stranger. It was someone very close to me, Megan. That's the thing. When you're doing this business, I feel like sometimes you think the people that are closest to you, your family, your friends, they're going to support you. They're going to rally around you. They're going to be in your corner. They're going to buy your products. They're going to join your team. And sometimes that's not the case. It wasn't with me. Yes, I had some family members support me, but I also have family members to this day that don't support me. Sometimes it's not a stranger. You are so right. Sometimes it's not a stranger. And what can you do? You can't just cut your family out of your life. Well, I'm like, okay, we are no longer friends on Facebook. One, this is where I do my business. And now I'm going to limit the time that I spend with you. Because if you were a true friend, if you were a true sister, true brother, true aunt, true uncle, true grandma, true grandpa, whatever, whoever it is, you would have my back. Okay? Sometimes it's somebody that we know that knows exactly what to say to cut us down. Did you know the number one regret of the dying is not living the life that they wanted to live, but living it according to somebody else's opinions? The number one regret of the dying is caring too much about what other people thought about them, that they did not live their life. You have one life. Live it. Live it on your terms, not what somebody else thinks. And I've seen that happen too. Who was it, Megan, that said that? I've seen that happen too. There was somebody on my team, so much potential. But we know we can't fall in love with somebody's potential, right? So much God-given potential. And I thought, if anybody can do this business, she can do this business, and she's gonna rock out. Talented in so many areas, but she couldn't get over what other people thought of her. And she stopped. And she's in the same place that she was in a few years ago. She allowed other people's opinions to stop her. She allowed other people's opinions to make her dim her light. We can't do that anymore, okay? Other people's opinions is none of your business. Bless and release, know your worth. You do not get your worth from somebody else's opinion of you. And if somebody doesn't have your back, you don't have to hang out with that person, okay? Okay, if it's not a stranger and it's somebody that you know, bless and release, okay? You worry too much about what people think. You're a people pleaser too. Yes, all the negativity comes from how that person feels on the inside. It's true. A lot of it is a reflection of how they are feeling on the inside. I agree with you. I agree with you. But if you feel the fire, drop a fire emoji. I want everybody on here who sees this to put in all caps, I know my worth. Okay, share this with your teams. Share it if you felt inspiration. Follow this page and let's hang out again, okay? I love you. I love you so much. You are so individually special. God made you just the way that you are, and you are perfect, okay? I love you. Have an amazing day, and don't let other people's opinions hold you back anymore.